Hello, hello, my Maverick friend. In episode 20 of the Maverick Mompreneur podcast, we are going to ironically be talking about voice. And I say ironically because mine sounds horrible. I'm not sure if I have a little cold or if it's allergies, but that's irrelevant. What is relevant is, have you ever found yourself thinking or saying, she's already doing what I want to do, shoot, or there's so many other people already doing what I'm doing or wanting to do, or thinking about the market being saturated? I know many of my clients come to me with those types of thoughts and phrases, and this episode is basically what I say in response to that in short form. Spoiler alert, those things don't matter if you're leaning into and using your unique voice in everything you do, from your blog or social media post to sales copy to your stories, all the things. But we're going to talk about why is voice so important, and then how the heck do you find it? So I hope this is a practical, useful episode for you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey mama, I'm Ashley, and this is the Maverick Mompreneur podcast, where you're free and encouraged to own your desire to create and scale an impactful, discoverable online brand and business in the midst of motherhood. A business that's aligned with your mission, lifestyle desires, personality, and zone of genius without wasting your time on the hustle and grind hamster wheel that is social media. Can I get an amen? Sis, you are a maverick, an original, willing to stand out in your authenticity, defy expectations, and do life and business outside the box. In our world, if it's not aligned with who we are, it's a hard pass or a brave pivot. So if you're here for the powerful identity shift and transformation from boss babe or boss mom to aligned CEO, building a one-of-a-kind, influential, hustle-free online business that will produce long-term impact and multiple streams of income through SEO, affiliate marketing, and courses while building yourself in the process, well, pop in those AirPods, grab that cup of coffee or glass of wine, and let's get growing. Before we get into the episode today, I wanted to tell you about something that I have been waiting to tell you about, and that is that the wait list for my brand new program that's been 2 years in the making, called Social Seller to CEO Academy, the waitlist is officially open. I'm so stoked. I'm going to tell you about it today. And then if you would like to be on the waitlist for one of the 10 spots that's going to open up in about a week, make sure you're on the waitlist. So Social Seller to CEO Academy is a 12-week group coaching program, and it's divided into 2 halves. The first half is designed to walk you step by step on setting up systems for automation of your current business processes. So everything from your communication, your marketing, and your sales. So really taking back that time freedom through systems that are going to work for you 24/7, 365. And then the second 6 weeks will be going through step by step the process of creating and profitably launching your first paid offer as an additional way to create impact and income using the systems for automation that you set up and dialed in the first half. So whether you choose to create an online course, a group program, a membership, a one-on-one coaching offer, I'm walking you through using the step-by-step process, the exact process that got me to and sustained a 6-figure annual income online without constant hustle mode, chasing social media algorithms, and just generally going towards burnout town. In the program, you're going to get new content delivered to your course portal every single week. And then you'll also have later in the week a live group Q&A with me once weekly in a private Facebook group. And that's going to be at staggered times so that you can hopefully make several, if not all of those. If you can't, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions beforehand, and then you can check out the replay and get your answer there. It's really going to be an amazing, transformative 12-week experience. I'm going to tell you who this program is for. This is for the woman who's in social selling or who is an influencer who's ready to become her own business and really take control of the impact and income she creates and can scale, to take what she's doing and expand upon it and craft her own offers to bring to her audience, to continue marketing affiliate products, but to transition that into more of a passive stream of income so that she's not a slave to social media and the ever-changing algorithms. And this woman is looking to have a marketing and sales system that is evergreen. So selling and communicating for her 24/7, 365 days out of the year. And on a personal note, this program, Social Seller CEO Academy, is extremely close to my heart because it's exactly how I was able to go from focusing on social selling and making an okay income, but also feeling super burnt out to, in a very limited time, 6 figures annually for the past couple of years. And I don't share that to brag. I share because I know that this system works. And I'm so excited for the 10 women that I'll get to work with to bring this to life for their brand. So waitlisters do get dibs on the 10 spots that will be open, but they also get access to waitlist only bonuses, and they're real good. So the link to join the waitlist is in our show notes. Hop on there if that sounds at all of interest to you so that you can get access to those bonuses, and I will see you on the inside. Episode 20, Maverick Mompreneur Podcast. This is Ashley, your host and internet friend. We're going to be talking about finding your voice in a practical way today. What does that mean? And why is finding and using your voice vital to, honestly, your bottom line? I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about some examples for you, and this came up when I was at, you may have guessed, Orange Theory. For some reason, I come up with all kinds of analogies while I'm working out. I wanted to give you examples to illustrate, though, why being you really is vital to standing out and really making a saturated market irrelevant. Back to Orange Theory. So Orange Theory, if you don't know, it's a way of working out. It's a studio that's nationwide. Every single studio does the same programming every single day. So the workouts are the same. Ostensibly, everything is the same. So it's plug and play. You can hire a coach on. They come in, they coach the same class that every single other Orange Theory coach is going to coach on. However, I find myself going on the app to sign up for classes and picking the classes not by what the class itself is, because you don't know that. You don't know what the class is going to be, the workouts, the movements. I choose it by the coach that I like best. They're literally teaching the same classes nationwide, but the reason that I choose the coaches that I choose is because I vibe with them. I enjoy being around that person. I like their energy. I like them using their voice, that essence of them, right? It's not usually to do with their skill level, although that has some to do with it, but it's really their vibe. Think about other examples. Pastors. If you go to church, pastors, what should they all be teaching from? The Bible. They're all teaching from the Bible, right? Talk about a saturated market. But the reason that we vibe with certain pastors that we vibe with is because of what they bring. What stories do they share? What's their personality like? And to each their own. Everyone is different as far as what they're going to vibe with. But it really does come down to that pastor's voice and them being who they are, hopefully. And that's going to attract their flock or repel people away who are not meant to be in their flock. They're teaching the same thing. It's the perspective they bring. It's the stories they share, the jokes they tell. Anyway, I hope you get my point that you can have a very saturated market. You can have a bunch of people doing the same thing, but they are going to stand out if they're being authentic and being themselves to the people that they're meant to stand out to. Now, there is obviously an element of marketing to this, getting attention, getting eyeballs on you so that people can see your awesomeness and you leaning into your authentic voice. But that's kind of for another conversation. Think about a coach that you follow who teaches online marketing, because if you're listening to this podcast, I might be one of them, but think about someone that you follow who teaches online marketing. There's literally thousands, so many people. When I transitioned into online business coaching, I had those thoughts too. Like, well, there's a lot of people kind of doing this, but I also knew that I have a voice. I understand my brand. I understand how to use my voice and my unique marketing style, which really makes thousands upon thousands of people doing the same thing irrelevant. So think about that person, and why do you follow that person? Probably, if I had to take a guess, it's somebody that you vibe with, that you relate to for some reason or more than one reason. You enjoy being around them, probably virtually or maybe even in person. You like their energy, you like their personality. It might even be like you like their look, and they might not be the number one in the field. They might even be like small potatoes. Big fish in a small pond, but you vibe with them. You want to hear from them. There's nothing new created under the sun. People are all teaching the same thing, but with their perspective, bringing their experience to that, bringing their voice to that. And that really is the differentiator that's going to ultimately set you apart. If you choose to change your content, if you choose to make a pivot, that can change. But what should never adapt and change is your authentic self and you being you, unless you've been showing up not as that. And then, of course, you want to lean into being your authentic self, using your voice. So what is voice? I think we hear this a lot, to use your voice, to find your voice. What does that mean? Well, the technical definition is your own unique style of communicating. It's basically the manner in which you share your thoughts and ideas with the world that distinguishes you from everyone else. That's the nice thing about being yourself, is that you set yourself apart just by doing that. And not only that, authentic communication is massively important to success, not just in business, but also in life. Have you ever heard that phrase, your vibe attracts your tribe? I think it's super obnoxious, but it's also true. If you're using your voice and you're being authentic, you're going to attract people who resonate with that, resonate with you in life and in business. And those are the people that are going to stick around. Those are the people who are going to be your soulmate clients or your soulmate in life. But if you're not using your authentic voice, being your authentic self, you're going to attract people who are not for you. They're meant for someone else, and vice versa. When you're starting a blog or a business, or you're wanting to grow a business, one thing that I've found over the years is that it's tempting to conform to the people around you. So you see someone else doing something or speaking a certain way or being a certain way, and it's tempting to want to conform to what they're doing or how they're speaking because you see them being successful. When we're kind of in those beginning stages or the stages where we're wanting to take things next level, it's easy to want to blend in with everyone else because, let's be honest, I think a lot of us have had or do have fears of being judged by other people. And we want to play it safe. We want to, conform to be like someone else who's already had success that doesn't seem to be judged. But don't do it. Don't blend in. What blends in gets forgotten, and what stands out gets remembered. So you want to stand out. It's so vital, especially when you're competing with such a crowded online space. It is an overcrowded online space. There is saturation, but what makes that irrelevant is you being you and you being excellent and striving for excellence in what you do. Now, of course, it's okay to be inspired by others, but when that crosses the line to imitation, that's when you're doing yourself a disservice and you're also doing others a disservice. Honestly, to be truthful with you, I remember when I first got into social selling, network marketing, it was so new to me and so different. I was used to blogging and kind of coming at things from an influencer's perspective. And so I looked to people that were finding a lot of success, and I did cross the line from inspiration to imitation. I did that though before I understood and recalled that I had my own unique voice and style that's just as valid as someone else's, regardless of level of success, right? So I want you to remember that too. Just because you don't have a level of success that someone else does, it doesn't mean that your voice is any less important. So maybe you're more of a laid back person. Maybe you're introverted. Maybe you're a little crass. Maybe you like to cuss in your marketing. I don't, but some people do. Maybe you're a little goofy. Maybe you're straightforward. All of that is okay. All of that is wonderful and will be so refreshing to your people. So lean into that. The right people will absolutely love the things about your personality that make you you. And that's what they're going to stick around for, right? Again, you're probably not the only person that is in your niche, right? That's doing this, I'm doing air quotes, doing the same thing as you. You set yourself apart by being yourself. And of course, there's a unique value proposition and other marketing things that we'll get into in another episode, I promise, but this is foundational. So let's talk about the secret to finding your voice. And this might seem very simplistic, but I wonder if you've done it, because there was definitely points in life where I can look back and say, wow, I did not understand my unique voice. And it starts with listening to yourself and really thinking about these things. So you might want to grab something to write these questions down. They're not in the show notes. What makes you uniquely you? What are some of the things that make you uniquely you? Think about, what phrases do you use? What stories do you tell when you're talking to your friends or your teammates? What comes up, regularly? What are some of your quirks? How do you want to add to the conversation that's already going on in your niche? Do you have something from your experience, from your perspective, that's just a slightly different spin that brings your voice to your niche? How do you speak or think? That's unique to everyone. We're all designed so differently. How do you uniquely speak or think? One thing that you can do that's practical, if you record reading your posts, so maybe you write up a post, record reading a couple of your posts and listen to them. Does that sound like you? So if someone were to read your post, ideally, it would sound like you. It would be unique. I see a lot of people, especially in social selling, it's not as rampant as I feel like it used to be, but people will blatantly take other people's posts, story posts that are someone using their unique voice, and literally just change a couple of things. But that's not a long-term play, because that is not going to be sustainable, because you cannot hold up that which you actually aren't. Unless you took someone's post every single time and somehow you miraculously showed up on lives and had that person's voice, it's not going to be effective. So if you've been in that position where someone's taken a post, it sucks. It feels horrible, but just remember that that's for them to figure out. That doesn't impact your bottom line. That doesn't impact your impact. That is your voice, which is why it's kind of painful when that happens. But that's not something, no one can steal your voice, even if they steal your post, I guess is what I'm trying to say. One thing that I do, and this is a big pro tip. No, I'm just kidding. But this is a simple way to make sure that your voice is coming through. I do voice to text in my phone notes for almost everything. For example, if I'm going to write up a podcast outline, or I'm going to write a post for Elevate Academy, my free Facebook group, I will take my phone, I'll open up a note, give it a title, put it in whichever folder it goes in, and then I'll just start speaking. And I obviously go back and edit, but I just start speaking into the phone, and it changes my voice to text so that I can ensure that the way that I actually speak comes through in my posts. And so that's something that I would definitely recommend. You obviously can go back and edit it, but it ensures that you are writing in a similar way to the way that you think and speak, and you can refine it. But that's just one thing that I found that works well. Oh my gosh, I cannot remember where I saw this. It was the other day. I feel like it was on Instagram, either a reel or a post. And it said something along the lines of, women don't need to find their voice. They need to be empowered to use the voice that they already have. And that's what prompted me to record this episode, because I want to be that for you. I want to encourage you and empower you to use your voice and know why that is important, because the people who you are meant to serve with your message, with your products, with your service, with your opportunity, they are waiting to connect with you, your voice, the real you. It's going to have a ripple effect where you're encouraging other people to use their voice and be their authentic selves. It's so refreshing in the online space, and I'm just excited to see more and more of that. So don't hold back. Don't change who you are. Be that for your audience. Show up for them. Show up for the people in your life powerfully, and use the voice that you already have. You don't have to really find it. It's there. Just unleash it. There's one other quote that I really like by Judy Garland. I'm looking at my notes and I didn't mention it earlier, but I love this. She said, "Always be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else." So this goes back to keeping your blinders on, maybe unfollowing people in your niche. I think that's one thing that really doesn't help, to follow a bunch of people in your niche and be constantly distracted by how they're saying things. What are they saying? What are they doing? That's not going to have you standing out. Being that first-rate version of yourself and having a unique marketing style, applying good marketing principles, but that is going to win over being the, what are the kids called these days? Like the Wish version or the Walmart version of someone else, right? Just step into your power, use that voice that you have within you, and don't be afraid to be yourself, because that's exactly what your people who you're meant to serve are looking for you to be. Thank you, as always, for listening to this episode, for listening to the podcast. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and maybe even leave me a 5-star review, please. If you've loved this episode and you're loving this content, I'm about to lose my voice at the end of this episode on voice. But if you love this episode, please do share on social media and tag me or share with your teams. I appreciate that so much. That's the best compliment you can give. That's the most amazing thing you can do to get the word out about the Maverick Mompreneur podcast. And I just appreciate you so much and your support. Have a great day, and I will see you back next week.